Hey everyone, just wanted to make a trade review for Thursday, January 9th. I wanted to go through all my trades on my E-Trade order book and just check it out. So this is going to be a longer video, testing out my new mic, and I wanted to go through my trades and reflect on some of them. So first trade, ELSA. So this one has some news pre-market, big gapper. Long-term chart, it's capable of spiking. And it's a 27 mil float, so it's relatively low. Should mention I'm going to review things that didn't go my way as well. This one I tried to get filled right a minute after open. I tried to get filled at 320. Surged over 320. I didn't get my fill. I took my order off because I just wasn't really sure about it. The spread was pretty gross and I wasn't too comfortable with it. So I kind of just, once I missed my fill, I was just like, well, I don't really know what this is gonna do, and the spread's kind of gross now. So I didn't like it anymore, and I took my eye off it to trade other things. And when I look back, the thing just it pumped hard. So if I would have got that fill 320, my risk would have been 310. I had just 300 shares because the spread was wide, so thought it would be kind of risky, which probably was. But it reached 475. And I probably would have sold it on the surge in the 430s, maybe 440s. Would have locked in quick profits on that, but I didn't get the fill. Nice to see that at least my perception of the potential upside of this stock was accurate. I didn't get my fill, a little disappointing, but all right. So on to the next one. We got Trill at 933. This one was a huge runner today, and let's take a look. Multi-day. It was on my watch because what's been happening lately is we've been seeing these downtrends. Well, it'll perk and then downtrend a couple days and then perk and a little more consolidation. But, it breaks out of these levels and then all of a sudden you get a huge breakout from the initial perk. And so it was on my radar just because it was a pre-market gapper. You can see it closed around this 150 area, and then it gapped up the 160s pre-market. I said, wow, that looks pretty good. So after open, see, it was pulled one of these, the 3-minute kind of like consolidation, but it's making I don't even know what to call that, but I wanted to play the breakout of that, so I bought 1,000 shares at 167.7 right here. Bought it right here. I wanted to give it time. 28 mil float, and the technical analysis of it is on a multi-day scale, which really means that you should play it for the day. Like, you should give it all day. Now this is what I was thinking, but sometimes in the moment you do other things, like selling it at 178, which actually wasn't that bad. Just because I kind of felt weakness, so I got out right here at 178. Well, actually, let's see, 9:37:52 seconds. 9:30. Yeah, I actually got out right here. So it just had that feeling. Just had a feeling I didn't like, and I got out, locked up $100, and this thing came all the way back down, actually lower than my entry. That would have freaked me out, and I would have got out anyways. But it bounced back up and started holding. I told myself to keep an eye on this. I just got busy with other names and did not catch the re-entry here. This is a beautiful consolidation re-entry. again, if you saw my video on CEI, you know how much I love these volume analysis. Just take a look at that. That's a nice volume wash. That signifies that something, something's about to change, something's about to happen. And sure enough, you get this beautiful entry zone. 2 entry zones. You get volume confirmation. I mean, it's just great. So I just wasn't watching it, unfortunately. And this just leads to straight upside. I mean, you never really even have to worry. It just goes straight up. And this thing reached 310. That was probably the play of the day. And I missed it. That happens. And it sucks, but what can you do? I took my eye off it and just didn't feel comfortable playing it at these higher price points. Uh, Protecting myself is more important than profits, and I had no idea it was going to go to 310. So missed opportunity. It's pretty awesome to see, though. Also, another play right here that I could have potentially taken for a scalp, but I didn't. Pretty awesome. All right, PRTO. Let's check out PRTO. Okay, so PRTO made a little run going into close yesterday, and this morning it was kind of gapping up. So wanted to watch it. I really liked this long-term chart. I mean, it had a lot of room. I'm actually surprised this didn't go higher, to be honest. There's so much room here that it could have filled, but it didn't happen. So a couple plays on this. Let's see. 1,000 shares at 87.5, and I got scared out. I was at 943, and then 30 seconds later. So 943, right here, got in at 87.5. Honestly, this was like kind of a FOMO entry. I knew I missed the entry I wanted, which was more around like 80, 81, 82. This was kind of a bad entry, and as soon as I entered it, I was like, okay, this is a chase, and I'm uncomfortable. So pretty much immediately, I just got out. More of like just a quick cut because I just didn't want it to dump on me, and I felt like my entry was a mistake. So I got out real quick 30 seconds later. And then at 9:45, I re-entered 2,000 shares at 90. So let's see. Oh, that was like right after. I must have saw something on the tape that I liked because I jumped in 2,000 shares at 90 here. And the thing is with setups like this is you just don't know. Like, is this thing gonna surge right through the 90s, have a whole dollar breakout, and turn into a halt play? If that's the case, this thing could have reached $1.40 easily. So, I think I took this exit because I felt like, okay, it's not ready, but then I took this flag because I actually felt more comfortable taking this 90-cent entry as opposed to jumping in before it was ready before. So anyways, I took 2K shares at 90. Get a quick surge, and it felt heavy, and I got out at 94. I just wasn't liking it, and that was my last play on it. It just didn't look good after that, and yeah, just washed basically for the rest of the day. I had actually a really nice recovery randomly in the afternoon. That was actually a really nice play, but I wasn't watching it, and usually things don't work that well when they wash this hard, so I really wouldn't have expected that to happen anyways. Anyways, that's the PRTO trades. Pixie. Played Pixie at 950. So obviously yesterday Pixie was crazy, and yeah, I could talk about how good this setup was that I completely missed. But let's just focus on today. So at 950, okay, I remember seeing it, and it looked really good. Like the tape looks good, and it looked developed, like it was about to surge. So I took 950, didn't get the surge, and it just stood there for like a minute or two, and I went, all right, this is about to probably reverse, and I just cut it. I cut it real quick. I got out for okay, break even. I know I only took 200 shares on that. I knew it was kind of risky. Got out break even. It ended up dumping. Not that hard though. I mean, I reached 1660. Well, a little more than $1 share downtrend from my sell, so it was a good sell. But you know, I should have maybe kept Pixie on my radar. Another situation where I'm a little early to the play, and I end up I stop watching it, and this thing actually starts. You know, it develops nicely. Little uptrend here, and then some consolidation, and then just a nice surge. You know, VWAP reclaim. Some people play that, but yeah, basically it just nice development. And really, you could look at this whole thing as like one downtrend. And again, it's interesting. You get a bottom and a bottom. It's not as maybe as clean as CEI or some other plays that I've been playing, but the setup is very similar in that regard. You get a really nice entry spot with high potential, and you can. It's a pretty obvious risk zone. So, anyways, that was great. 1730 area to 21. I mean, that was just amazing, and I missed that. So, a little early to that one as well. Pretty cool to see. Nice halt play. All right, what's next? I don't think I need to go over Palm. I do like Palm on the multi-day. Actually, I'm gonna be watching. I'm gonna be watching it tomorrow because I like how it closed, and I think that I might as well pull it up. Not gonna go over the exact times, but I just want to pull up this multi-day. Multi-day that's been working. You get a gap, and then we're just seeing consolidation. And it held like this bottom, just a wedge. You know, it could break out of the wedge and test 2 or something. You know, it's gonna at least be on my watch tomorrow. So let's see. Okay, so LJPC. Let's pull that one up. Ah, this one was a ripper, and it was difficult to play for sure. I would say I misplayed it today, really. So my first entry was 1028. 1028. Okay, so right here, around this area. I got in at 423.5. I got out at 424 because it did not surge and I did not like the way it felt. So I got out of the way. I felt like my entry was just off, a little too early or something. I got out of the way. See, I don't really want to jump to a different ticker. I'm gonna skip Mosey and GRWG. They were just kind of, honestly, they're not worth reviewing. So I'm just gonna skip those. So 1053, I took another entry and I added at 1054. A couple of these didn't really work out. I cut that at 1056 for break even. You can see I had I knew that LJPC had massive potential, and I was trying to play it because I knew the potential was there, but it's like this thing was just giving me such a hard time, and I even sized in 2K shares. Just cut that. I was uncomfortable with it. Let's see. So 11, 423. I traded this thing a lot. A hard time. At 11 o'clock, I bought this consolidation, 423. I ended up selling at 1133. 1133. Alright, so I remember why I sold it. It was creeping up, but it was such a slow creep. And when I looked at the tape, it was really just, I felt like it was weighted on the ask. And it just felt weak to me. And I didn't want to be in it. I just didn't want to deal with it anymore. I just felt like it was better to just lock up the small win. So that was a $120 winner on that one that I locked up. And some FOMO trades afterwards. We got, because what happened is like I cut it, I was right, but then it held. And once it held and started to get over these levels, I was like, well, crap, if I want to buy it, because what if it breaks out new high of day and all of a sudden this is the massive run? So I took some like 438 entries, cut at 437, and then got in one more time at like 439 and cut it at 438 or something. So I took like two very small losses on that just in case this thing ripped. Didn't want to miss that, but it just wasn't ready. Another case of just playing something that looks ready, but it's just not quite ready. And yeah, so I mean, I did all right on it. But anyways, where's the other trade? 1333. Okay, so 1333 right here. This new high of day. Well, I guess I technically, it broke out of the range. Even pre-market, this was the top of the range. So, I held that range all day, and if you really look at it, what this is it's just really nice consolidation. And it's like I was saying, here's a bottom, here's a bottom. It's a double bottom, and it's just a different scale. Like when you're talking about these bottom plays, these consolidation plays, whatever you want to call them, I don't even know what to call them, but there's certain things that happen that can indicate whether something is setting up in a really good way or not. And it's like everything forms on a different scale and a different time scale and different ranges and all the stuff, but the overall play is very similar. Just have to adjust. I didn't do a great job of adjusting. I mean, if I was sharp on my game and saw this, I would have taken this on the bounce, right? I would have just nailed this 430 entry. Instead, I saw it a little late, got this riskier entry around 444. Luckily, I didn't have to worry though. It surged and it just went. So that was good, but my patience on this was awful. Absolutely awful. I expected this wedge to just surge up, and it didn't. And when it didn't, I freaked out and I sold it at 460. And sure, it hit 456 or whatever, but that's not the game plan. The game plan is you get in at 444 and you risk 443. I mean, or 442, whatever. The point is you stick to the damn plan, and I didn't. And I got punished for it. I got out at 460. It held, and a minute later, or 2 minutes later, it's making new highs. And it surged to 495. And if I was sharp, I would have sold it at like 488, something like that. I would have locked in profits there. Either way, I mean, it was all right, I guess. I made like what, 160 on that. So I made $100 on it in the morning. or more like 80 because I took those small losses and then I made 160 on it in the afternoon. But you gotta stick to the plan sometimes. This thing, I reached 530 and I'm selling it at 460. So I know that that's in hindsight, and you can't always just be like, oh well, it got higher than I sold it, so I'm gonna be mad. I mean, I feel like I should have held it longer. I feel like I didn't stick to my plan. That's why I'm upset. But I guess I should give you my thesis as to why I was watching in the first place. So this is a former runner. Went from 580 to 1120 in one day. That's pretty great. That's impressive. So I know it's capable of making moves. Hasn't made a move in a long time. It washed. It got really destroyed. But it started recovering. It held this range, and I had news this morning. So I wanted to give it a watch, and it ended up being a really great play today, and it filled this gap. So gap to fill was, like 555. You don't want to go for that whole move, but it reached 543. That's pretty damn close. Yeah, it was good. I'm glad I was on the right track with it. I just did not expect it to take all afternoon to develop into the play I was expecting, if that makes sense. It caught me off guard, and I did not play it very well just because it just formed in a way I wasn't really expecting, I guess, would be the best way to explain it. Yeah, lots of trades on LJ PC, so that took a long time to go over, but I felt like it was important to go over it in detail. Let's just go over ONCY because I'm at 200 on that, and then I'll wrap it up with Trill. So, all right, ONCY. So this had news the morning, and it was gapping up. But the main reason why I was watching this is because of the multi-day. So the multi-day was the most important factor in why I was watching this. Because if you look at the multi-day, that is a setup I like. That is a nice triangle consolidation. Made this nice move, consolidates. If it broke out of that triangle, it could make another move just like it, right? So there was a lot of upside potential there. And then all day consolidated. So I was watching it, and I noticed that it was testing this 410 level a lot, and there was a giant ask wall at 410. Even 409 had quite a big wall. I was just watching it, go back and forth this 4 to 410, 4 to 410 over and over. And I was tempted to scoop some actually at 401, but I didn't get tempted until this area right here. I actually right here at 1232, I actually put 2,000 share order at 401 because I wanted to get filled if it touched one more time because I really felt like it was going to break out of the range. But, I was watching it and it did not look like it was going to give me another dip. So I got ready to buy it. Got a quick surge, quicker than maybe I was expecting. Bought it at market, expecting to get filled into the 410 wall. But I didn't get filled, and I actually got some slippage. So I got filled at 411.8. I think, let's see. Yep, 411.89. So basically, call it 412. So 412, 2,000 shares. Really wanted 410. I get annoyed even if I get like a cent or two slippage. I just don't like it. But anyways, that just went up, and that's really nice. That I didn't really have to worry because it just started uptrending and it didn't look back. really. My initial profit target was actually 444. Like, no joke, I wanted 444. It did hit that. I don't know if I would have got filled at 2K, probably. There's a ton of volume. But again, I just got impatient and I sold it at 425. So this chop kind of like, it just made me uncomfortable. I don't know. I sold it at 425, and then a few minutes later, like 2 minutes later, it found that up like a new uptrend and ended up hitting my profit target. So left quite a bit on the table there, but I can't be that mad because I did capture about half the move. But I really did want that 440-ish area to sell into. A little disappointing, but what can you do? And so, also, now I say that, you may be wondering, well, you just pointed out this multi-day, why wouldn't you wait and see if you could get, 540, something bigger, something better? And my answer to that is ONCY is very choppy and it likes to develop before it makes runs. So let's say I sell it into this 440 area and then we get this wash, right? Like, what I'm trying to say is it's better to just lock up your profits, wait for it to develop again, and then re-enter it. I think that's a much more optimal way to play ONCY. As it turns out, after I sold it, I just didn't like it. I didn't like it after that. Got into like this nasty downtrend and it just didn't feel right. I didn't like it. I just completely stopped watching it, and that was the right move because it didn't do much. Maybe it'll do something tomorrow. It'll be on my watch. But for the day, that was about it. Alright, and want to just go over Trill. Everything else, not really important. Don't really care about it. Alright, so Trill, 14. Oh, holding up nicely after hours. This might give a day too. Alright, so I'll talk about Trill. Let's see. So the main reason why I was watching it is because it was holding a trend. Like, sometimes things get overextended and they get choppy and they get ugly, but Trill just felt different to me. It felt like it was holding a trend. You can look at the volume, just check out the volume, it's a somewhat clean wash. And I just felt like, okay, this is clean. This is clean enough to try to take another play on this. How can I play this? Well, I think I played it a couple times. Let me see if I can get some exact. I know I made a couple mistakes on this before the actual play. Alright, so at 1358, assume that's like this area? Yeah, it is. Alright, so I watched this wick happen. So it went through from 302 to 290. It immediately recovered and got support. Now, sometimes when that happens, you'll get like a very quick surge to the upside. So I went for it. I took this 306. I wanted a quick surge to the upside to break out of this level and to just test highs, basically. I didn't get it, and so I just sold it. It's like, okay, I tried. It's not moving. Okay, I was wrong, and I quickly got out for break even. I tried. It didn't work out. Let's get out. Didn't lose anything, so that's good. Where else did I try it? Tried it again at 1421. so 221. Alright, tried it right here in this area at 295. My thought process was double bottom, so like this bottom right here at 282. It bottomed again around 285, I guess. And I wanted to take the reversal, thinking that this might be the big volume surge and break out of the range, right? So I went for it again at 295. I didn't get it, and what do you think I did? I sold it at 295. I don't know exactly when. Let's see. 1425. Okay, so right here. So when you're wrong, there's nothing wrong with getting out break even. There's absolutely nothing wrong. If you know that you're wrong, just get out. You don't need to always risk 5 cents or whatever, you know what I mean? Like you can just get out break even. It's all good. It's not doing what you want, get out. Alright, so 1453 was my last play on it. $283.8. Kind of a high fill, to be honest. Kind of a high fill. But so let's get real technical. So what we have is a breakdown under VWAP and huge volume surge, which in like almost every play that you see, if you get a breakdown, a late afternoon breakdown under VWAP with a volume surge that breaks the trend, the volume trend, like this should have dumped. It should have dumped a lot harder than 270. It should have crashed. Okay, it should have been destruction. But what did we see? Well, it bounces back up. It holds. And all of a sudden we're making some type of trend over VWAP, and I go, like, I just think to myself, that's gonna freak some people out as far as shorts, you know, that's gonna freak some people out. So I went ahead and kind of took this miniature wedge. You know, this is how I was seeing it in my head, kind of like this little consolidation wedge. And I got in at 283.8, 2,000 shares. And I just got the surge, you know, I got the surge. It looked nice, and it bounced off the range, and I went, you know, I just thought to myself, hey, I'm up $200. It bounced off the range. I'm just gonna lock it up, and that's what I did. Locked it up at 295 for $200. But I don't know how I feel about it because I wasn't very patient, and I was up $200. I mean, I was up 10 cents a share. It's not like I was at that point. It's not like I'm gonna lose money on it. It's just I feel like I should have let it run, or if I didn't let it run and I sell it, I feel like I should have nailed the re-entry over the whole dollar. But I wasn't sure. It's not the type of play that I play too often anyways. Like I usually don't play things that are this much volume. This was an absolutely crazy play today. I usually don't play things with this much volume, but yeah. Um it was a really nice entry into that $3 surge. You have again another like small wedge set up and get the $3 breakout and it reached 320. I mean, it's kind of tough to you know. I left $500 on the table, but at the end of the day, singles that up and did finish the day in the green, $917. Pretty good. I mean, on almost all of my plays, I sold them all too early. It is frustrating because this is a problem that I seem to have all the time. So, you know, I'm working on it. It's just something I'm working on. See if I can get better at being patient and letting my winners run a bit more so I can capture more of the upside. Solid day. can't complain with a $900 day. So yeah, I mean, I wanted to go over all the main trades. I think I did that. Hopefully, I did an alright job. Hopefully, my commentary was alright. Did get a new mic, so let's hope it sounds better. And I guess that's it. So thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next recap.